Welcome back, everyone, to another episode here on our channel where we dive deep into the stories, emotions, and surprises surrounding the stars we admire the most. Today's topic feels like something straight out of a drama script, yet it's real, it's raw, and it's happening right in front of our eyes. Imagine waiting 7 long years, 7 years filled with whispers, distance, silences, unspoken truths, and the weight of uncertainty, only for one unforgettable night to change everything. That's the story surrounding Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan that we're about to unfold together. This isn't just about 2 actors, 2 idols, or 2 names on posters and screens. This is about timing, destiny, and the kind of moment that shifts the course of their lives forever. So sit back, interact with me as we go along, and let's ask ourselves the question. When 2 people carry the same history, what happens when fate finally gives them a night to rewrite everything? 4 years, fans have lived on every glance, every interaction, every hidden meaning between Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan. From the very first time they worked together, the sparks were undeniable. You could feel it in the way their eyes met, the subtle smiles that weren't scripted, the lingering moments that cameras barely caught. Viewers weren't just watching performances, they were witnessing a connection too real to ignore. But as fame grew, so did the walls around them. Rumors spread, controversies weighed heavily, and both stars had to carry the burden of protecting themselves, their careers, and perhaps even their hearts. 7 years went by. Years that for fans felt like an eternity of waiting, of hoping, of wondering. Do you think they ever thought about those early days as much as their fans did? Let's pause for a moment. If you were in their shoes, would you have kept those memories tucked away, or would you have moved on? The truth is, moving on isn't always easy. Especially not when every song lyric, every fan project, every trending hashtag reminds you of what once was. Both Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan soared in their individual careers. Yibo carved his identity as a singer, dancer, actor, and even racer, dazzling audiences with his quiet charisma and undeniable talent. Xiao Zhan, meanwhile, became the embodiment of resilience, bouncing back from storms that could have crushed anyone else. Both were fighting their own battles, yet somehow, their stories always found a way to circle back to each other. Fans would say, even when they're apart, they're still connected. Do you agree? Drop your thoughts, because this is where the heart of the story lies. 7 years is not just a number, it's a stretch of time long enough for dreams to be built and broken, for people to grow, heal, and even change entirely. But sometimes, 7 years can also mean a bond maturing, waiting for the right moment. That moment came one night, unexpected, unplanned, yet utterly life-changing. According to whispers from close circles and eyewitness accounts that fans have been piecing together like a puzzle, Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan finally shared a night that erased distance and reignited a connection people thought was lost forever. Imagine the emotions, after so long, seeing each other not just as colleagues or distant stars, but as 2 souls who carried unfinished conversations, unresolved feelings, and a longing that time couldn't wash away. Can you picture it? That moment when the silence breaks, and everything you wanted to say for years comes spilling out in one night? The details of what happened that night remain private. After all, these are 2 people who guard their hearts fiercely. But the changes that followed were too visible to ignore. Both seemed lighter, more genuine in their public appearances. Xiao Zhan's smile, brighter and less guarded. Yibo's calm, steadier, but carrying a spark that only those who know him well could catch. Netizens immediately noticed. Social media was flooded with fans pointing out these subtle shifts. Did you see how Xiao Zhan laughed during that interview? Wang Yibo looked more at peace than ever. Coincidence? Or the result of finally facing the weight of 7 years in just one night? This is where it becomes interactive for you. I want you to think. Have you ever had a moment in your life where waiting felt endless, but when the time finally came, it was all worth it? That's what makes this story so compelling. It's not just about celebrities. It's about the human experience. Waiting, longing, struggling, and finally finding resolution. Fans, too, were part of this 7-year wait, weren't they? Every time they trended a hashtag, every time they defended them against criticism, every time they replayed those old moments, fans were also waiting. In a way, that one night didn't just change Yibo and Xiao Zhan. It changed everyone who had been rooting for them since day one. Do you feel that? That sense of collective relief, joy, and even disbelief? Let's dive deeper. One reason this moment feels monumental is because both men had reached points in their lives where clarity was necessary. Fame can be isolating. You have crowds screaming your name, yet loneliness seeps in when you're unable to truly be yourself. For Yibo and Xiao Zhan, their shared history wasn't just about work, it was about someone who understood that unique kind of pressure, who could stand in your shoes without needing explanations. And isn't that rare? Think about your own life. How many people really get you without you needing to say a word? That's what they had, and that's what waiting 7 years could never erase. Fans started speculating that perhaps this night marked a turning point not only emotionally but also professionally. Could collaborations be on the horizon again? Could we see them share the stage or screen, not just as actors delivering lines but as individuals who have rediscovered their rhythm together? Just the thought electrifies the fandom. Imagine a reunion project. Would you be the first to watch it? Let us know, because it feels like the world is holding its breath for that possibility. And if it happens, you already know, it won't just be entertainment. It will be history in the making. But beyond the fan dreams and speculations, there's a softer truth here. That night, after 7 years of distance, represented healing. It represented courage, the courage to face each other honestly. Sometimes the hardest thing is not battling the outside world, but confronting the emotions you've tucked away for so long. Xiao Zhan once said in an interview that he believes timing matters more than anything, that people meet when they are meant to, not when they want to. And doesn't this story prove that? Maybe 7 years ago, they weren't ready. But now they had the maturity, the strength, and the scars to understand the value of that connection. As fans, our role is also important. Support, patience, respect. These are what carried this story for so long. Without the dedication of the fandom, the narrative might have faded. Instead, it grew stronger, fueled by hope. And now, as we look at the signs, the smiles, the undeniable shift, it feels like everyone's patience has been rewarded. That's why this isn't just their story, it's yours too. Every fan who believed, every fan who waited, is part of this 7 years, 1 night tale. Doesn't that give you chills? Knowing you're part of something bigger? So where do we go from here? The truth is, no one knows exactly what the future holds for Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan. But what we do know is this: one night can indeed change everything. One night can turn 7 years of waiting into a new beginning. One night can transform silence into dialogue, distance into closeness, and uncertainty into hope. And perhaps, one night can remind us all that love, friendship, and human connection don't follow schedules. They happen when they're meant to. Before we close, let me ask you directly. Do you believe that after all these years, this night was destiny at work? Or was it simply timing? Do you think their story is far from over, and we're just witnessing the start of something greater? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm eager to hear what you think because, in stories like this, every perspective matters. Thank you for staying with me through this emotional journey of 7 years condensed into one life-changing night. If you felt the emotions, the hope, and the beauty of this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next deep dive into the lives of the stars we love. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about news, it's about the moments that touch our hearts and remind us that behind the fame, these stars are just like us, searching for connection, healing from pain, and cherishing the rare people who truly understand them.